Hey everybody, it's George. Okay, so the conversation was brought to me, George, what do I do if I want to sell my house as is? All right, first and foremost, if I'm going to be the buyer of that property, so if my company is going to come in and purchase that home, I'm already going in with an as-is assumption. I don't care about the condition of a property. It's irrelevant to me, okay? I'm looking at the house for what it is, and I'm going to make a fair market value offer based upon the condition of the house as it is right now. Everything taken into account. You know, if there's open permits, if there's, roof is caving in, foundation is sagging, there's water in the basement, whatever, I don't care. My offer will reflect the condition of the home relative to its market value, relative to the current market. But if you're the seller and you've decided, hey, look, I'm going to sell my house and I want it listed as is. Now, if you bring it to a realtor and you tell somebody, I want to sell my house as is, most realtors are going to go, so what's wrong with the house? Because as is, when you list it, when a seller lists a house on the market as is, it's a marketing statement. It is not a status of the home. It's a marketing statement. You are marketing the house to the public with the understanding that there is some reason why it's not worth as much as an equivalent home or a comparable home. Bedrooms, bathrooms, location, size, style, features, updates, etc. If you list that house, or you tell a realtor, I want to list the house and put an as-is reference on it, all you're doing is telling the market, I'm unwilling to discuss something you find during inspection. But the important point, if you're the seller, the important point is it does not mean that a buyer doesn't have the right to an inspection. It also does not mean that the buyer cannot bring forward items found at inspection. Right, you put on the market, I'm selling it as is. Okay, got it, understood. But I'm the buyer, and I'm making up this example. So if a buyer comes through and says, yes, but I found the following 10 items in my inspection, and let's say that 9 of them are just, silly stuff, GFCI outlets, I don't know, paint peeling, whatever. But one of the items, let's say, or loose toilets, okay, because I think that comes up every time. So let's say one of the items, though, are missing stair rails. So you've got 3 or more steps, greater than 36 inches in height, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the point is, you have an entryway and there are no railings. Well, if that buyer is using a loan to purchase the house, conventional or not, they're going to flag it as a safety concern, because at a certain height, over a certain number of stairs, there has to be a railing. If there's no railings, it's a safety concern. The lender will not give that buyer a loan, even on a quote-unquote as-is sale. They will not issue a loan if they feel that there are safety hazards that have to be resolved prior to closing. So, if you're the seller and you're going to list it as is, it does not mean a buyer cannot present items found during inspection for discussion and negotiation. And if they are health or safety related, hopefully your realtor is going to tell you, you got to take care of those. Hopefully your realtor pointed them out before you listed the property and gave you a heads up to say, these are things that are going to come up. You should be aware. This is going to come up and there's no way around it. So you might as well just take care of it right now. If you're the seller and you turn around and say, well, I don't have the money. Okay. I can't get that work done. I physically am not able to get the work done, whatever it may be. That's a different situation then. In which case, then, the listing on that house probably is going to be stated as being a cash-only deal, because that would alleviate the loan considerations, the appraisal considerations, and now you got to market it far lower. And if you're putting it on the market, even as a cash listing, you're going to be taking less money because of taxes and proceeds and everything else that you have to account for. If you sell it off-market to somebody like me and my company as a cash deal, you're going to walk away in a little bit better position because you're not paying the commission, and more often than not, depending upon the contract terms, we may even cover closing costs. So that's us. So I'm not saying that every off-market deal with an investor group like us is going to be the better deal. I'm just saying that more often than not, we can be a better deal than putting it as a cash offer on the retail market. That's a segue. So if you're going to sell your house and you want to put it on the market and you're going to use the as-is reference, just understand that's just a marketing tool. It is nothing more. If you're going to sell it off-market, you're already selling it as is effectively, because off-market, the buyer coming through, unless it's a buyer represented by an agent and you're doing a for sale by owner, their buyer's going to do an inspection no matter what. They should. But if you're selling it off market between two private parties, then both parties are agreeing to the property to be what it is, and the attorneys are going to work out the language on everything. Because you're not then neither party is being represented by a realtor. That's kind of an easy one. So if you have questions about this stuff, please feel free to reach out to me. Give me a buzz. Always happy to chat. But the as-is clause is I think it's getting abused to a point where people just kind of say, well, what does it actually do for me, whether I'm selling or buying? And again, it's just a marketing statement. So anyhow, happy January. See you guys later.